Okay, why is leg riding so important? Nationwide, our kids are known as some of the best leg riders in America, and then they go into college wrestling and they do the same. I know after Drake Hottishot won his NCAA title, he told me he worked camps with us and he wrestled with us since he was 9, and he's like, after losing, he was ranked number 1 in the nation, but got fourth his junior year. Then his senior year, he was ranked fourth, but got first. And he goes, just my riding, I really had to get back to riding and leg riding. And he accredited that to a big part of his success. And, you're trying to hold world-class athletes down, and it's tough to do that with a tight waist. Sometimes people say, well, leg riding's dangerous. No, a tight waist and tugging on someone's arm is dangerous. A crossface is dangerous. Riding legs is safe, and it's a great way to control your opponent's athleticism. A tremendous athlete left to be a tremendous athlete. Just like in basketball, you can't touch these guys. They're born gifted. They're born, with college scholarship written on their forehead, and some of them, NBA. Not that they don't work hard, but the raw sports, you have to have a certain amount of athleticism that you're born with. Well, in wrestling, the average athletes can be, even Olympic champions. I saw some video online. Terry Brands was teaching a camp, and he was mentioning the same things and saying that he was not a great athlete, but he figured out how he found a way to win, and how do you get much better than those guys. So I think we see this a lot, and that's one thing I love about wrestling is you don't have to be just a God-given, gifted athlete to be an NCAA champion. And but part of it comes down to tactics, and leg riding is a tactic that can help me to steal possession time of the match, control. If I can own 3 minutes of that 6-minute high school match or youth match or college, that's got to be a good thing. Whether I turn you or not, just to be able to rob you of those minutes of wrestling and get the control factor back, especially in college, you get a point for riding, for riding someone out. I wish they did that in high school and youth wrestling. So if you're looking to take your wrestling to a new level, we say this: you will accomplish your goals 2 years ahead of schedule if you're a leg rider. And this is a big emphasis of our wrestling camps in the summertime. At PurlerWrestling.com. Also, our DVD series, a big emphasis of our DVD series is leg riding, because I've just seen it help. I remember when I was in college years ago, I graduated from Oklahoma State in '94, and Josie had introduced me to leg riding, and I was cutting a bunch of weight to make 118, and I was like a takedown guy. Back then, nowadays you have to be a 3-position wrestler. You have to. Back then, Iowa and OSU and a lot of teams, they would take people down and let them up. You don't see that anymore in college wrestling. You don't let people up. It's 3 positions. You have to be awesome in all 3 positions or you're not going to make it. So wrestling's really changed. It's getting so tough out there, guys. I just got to tell you that much. But I learned to ride legs from Joe C. and, Chuck Barbie and Kendall Cross were leg riders. And I learned a lot from watching them and picking their brain. But it just changed everything for my wrestling, especially since, I didn't feel like I could wrestle well in the last period on my feet because I was cutting so much weight. So that's one thing I noticed, and I always said, if I have a son who wrestles or I'm ever a coach, we're going to be leg riders. Then after I graduated, I took Mark Perry. He coaches at Illinois now. He was like 10 or 11, and his dad was our coach. He had to go out of town with the Oklahoma State team, and he wanted me to coach, Little Mark, they call him. I was Big Mark, his dad, Little Mark. So I took Little Mark to the state tournament, and I think he was like 49-0 with 49 pins or something. He was pretty phenomenal even back then. But he rode everybody out with legs, and I thought that just reinforced everything. That especially at the high school or youth level, which is where he was at the time, leg riding that's going to be my focus. It helped me. I saw it help my teammates in college at Oklahoma State win national titles and things and All-American honors. I saw it help Mark Perry in youth wrestling, and I've been sold ever since. And it's a big emphasis of Purler Wrestling Academy for those that train with us weekly, and it's a huge emphasis of our wrestling camps. In fact, at our 5-day camps, whether they're our private team camps out of state where we come to you, or the 3-position camp, or the 14-day dream season camp, leg riding is day 1, and that way we get a lot of review and live wrestling for the next 5 to 14 days. from our leg riding position. And our goal is to be the best leg riders in America and have the best leg riding camp in America. But whether you get involved with us or not, I would recommend learning how to ride legs and making that a big part of your game, because it is a shortcut. People always say there's no shortcuts. Well, there are a few, all right? Or we like to say there's no shortcut, but there's a fast track. And we like to say that we're the fast track. Some people may not agree, and that's fine. But I do know that leg riding, from a technique standpoint, is the fast track.